If you read Genesis chapter 37, you will see the story of Joseph from verse 5 to 9. We saw Joseph having series of dreams. First, he was binding sheaves with his brethren, and suddenly all the sheaves of his brethren stood before his shield and made obeisance to him. And in his ignorance or in his innocence of heart, he shared with his brethren. And the moment he shared that dream, Satan was triggered, and instantly he began to operate in the heart of his brethren. Unfortunately for him, again, he had another dream where he saw the moon, the sun, the 11 stars bowing before him, and he shared it to the hearing of his brethren before his father. And his father rebuked him. What do you mean by this dream? Are you saying that I, your mother, and your 11 brothers will bow before you? And the father kept that vision in his heart, but he saw it as what? As stars. And prophetically, it was interpreted that these stars were not just luminaries that were found in the constellations. They are representatives of who? Of sons of men, the sons of Jacob. What do you mean? Stars are prophetic symbolisms that are used to interpret the lives of men. So in the atmosphere, for instance, if you look up in the night when the stars shine, there are those whose brightness are higher than others. And each of those stars, there are things that they represent. Especially if we begin to narrow it down to spirituality. Every one of us here is a carrier or is a star captured in prophecy. It's a representation of a star in the spirit. And unfortunately, Satan, through what we call stargazing, can read stars and can interpret the energy that is oozing out of that star to tell what kind of person this person is. And it is through this medium that the devil, in partnership with wicked men, have hijacked many stars. When I speak of stars here, I want you to know that I'm talking about destinies. Men and women of valor endowed with mighty grace of God to be something, voices in the natural. When they observe these stars, they begin to throw arrow at them, to either hijack their stars or to corrupt it. So on the last cape, we see many men, many women walking on the street aimlessly. Their star have been taken, either taken, exchanged, or corrupted. So they are giving another life. What they are doing is not in any way connected to who they are in the spirit or by according to the scrolls of God. There was a lady I conducted deliverance for some few years ago. This lady, if she begins to manifest, 10 men are not strong enough to keep her down. Very violent in the spirit. Once the power of God comes and she begins to manifest, you can't hold her. About 5 different powers were living inside this lady. What happened? The Spirit of God now ministered to me that she was born into a family of witchcraft, and her star was to be a deliverer unto this family. And the witches and wizards in the family, they saw her star, so they manipulated her and initiated her right from when she was innocent. So when she grew up, nothing was working. The idols began to summon her to go back to the village to begin to serve the altar. They frustrated this lady. Nothing was working. School was not working. Job was not working. Nothing. No place to stay. Anywhere Anywhere she stays is problem. They were frustrating her to go back to the village. What was her offense? She was born with a star that have the capacity to bring deliverance to those who are captives of the enemy in her family. And the Lord gave me instruction of what to do. Prayed for her. In fact, to tell you how deliberate they were, they named her after the altar. And after the deliverance, the Lord said, change her name. And there are many like that are walking. They are not aware. The substance that makes them who they are is not there. They are just moving as corpses. Empty. No substance. Because the original thing have been what? Have been stolen. Have been hijacked. Have been taken away. Was it not while we were in H Fire Garden, Area 3? A lady came to me. And I laid a hand on her. Bah! She came under the power of God and pooh! And I saw a little child locked up in a cage. As she was the Holy Spirit now showed me that is her. That's her reality. That's who she was. The real person is still a child, captured at a younger age, locked up in a cage. So she was living another person's life. She was on earth doing fine here, but in actual reality, her life was what? Locked up somewhere. In Calabar those days, there was a lady that came to me again. Maradanino Gerovahanil Amanakalo Salemotambeho. This lady was like a goddess, pretty. Hey. When we began to pray, suddenly everywhere started smelling like shit. I said, who used the toilet and did not flush it? I went round the bathroom. There was nothing like shit anywhere. Like, sorry for my language. There was not the whole toilet was clean. And the smell was strong. You can't deny it. Where is this smell coming from? I left her there because where I was, it was a duplex. So the parlor was a very big parlor. It was an abandoned building anyway. They'll use it for hotel before. So the house was haunted. That was where I used as my prayer. So the lady that brought her to me there, and I left her in the parlor, went round the whole room looking for the toilet that was not flushed. Behold, no one. That was when the Holy Spirit ministered to me. That is the demon that is walking disfavor around. She's pretty, but in the spirit she smells. When we began to pray, go, bah, bah. Spirit realm is real. Don't let anybody deceive you. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. The realm of the spirit is real. And on a daily basis, exchanges are going on. Exchanges. That lady was living a life of an old woman. An old woman was like what was inside of her, and her own reality was trapped somewhere else. So anybody that come close to her, even though physically she was attractive, in your spirit you will not find her attractive, because she was what? She was old. Her reality was changed. Through stargazing, they can tell who have an agenda, who have a destiny with God, and they can manipulate it. They can.